sure I don't have, we don't need that. All right, here we go. Guys, 8.2, this section is we call linear combinations. So it's just like the example we talked about, saying, hey, you know what? Some 20s and some 50s total $400. Plot some points, draw a line. We did that, all right? So our whole goal today, understand what the heck we're doing here in terms of graphing equations in standard form. Standard form is going to take on a new form for us. I want you to write this down and have it. Standard form is not the y equals mx plus b anymore. You're going to see stuff that looks like this now, where it says a times x plus by, and that's going to equal your c value right here. Now I want you to understand the a, b, and c, those are all numbers. Okay? Those are all numbers. So it might be like a 3x plus a 7y is equal to 10. So in the activity I looked at, let me know when you've got this formula down first of all. You guys all have that written down in that area? No. Get that formula written down quickly, and we'll come back and look at this. You guys got her? Okay, so if I come back and look at this right here, do you guys notice right here from our activity saying, hey, we had some $20 bills, we had some $50 bills that total 400. We plotted all the possible combinations right here to form a line. All right? Here in this equation that I wrote, it said some 20s, which was represented by x, plus some 50s, the sum being represented by y, total value here, 400. Do you guys recognize this as like an ax plus a by equals c value right here? Do you guys see that? Let me ask you this question. If this is linear combination form right here, what's the a value? What's the b value?
50.
And what's the c value? 400. You guys see all that?
Yep.
Okay. Now, part of your job today is this. It's going to say, hey, here's an equation written in standard form. We're going to want to take standard form and rewrite it in, what's this called again? Slope-Intercept Form, and be able to graph this. All right? I'm going to give you some nifty formulas that you're not going to find in any book that's going to make this a lot easier. So if you get stuff down today, life will be good. All right? So let's look here. What's general form of any equation in standard form, gang? Ax plus by is equal to c. So let's jump into this example, kind of like we already talked about. The example says, suppose you have how much money? $50. You have some 10s, and you have some what? 5s. It says, what are the possible bills that you have? Well, I don't even care about that part because we kind of talked about that in terms of the 20s and 50s over here. What I would like to do is write an equation for this. What are the possible bills you have? Then write an equation. You might want to write this down. Write an equation. Write an equation in standard form. To model this situation. Write an equation in standard form to model this situation. Okay? So take a second and write that down. It's tough, but I didn't lose it. What's that? Yep. You should see the new socks I got today. I can't wait to wear these to practice today. Did you see them, Miller?
I did.
Perfect.
Oh.
Aren't those pretty cool?
Just gorgeous.
Real men wear pink. Alright?
That's a great.
Have you guys got that written down?
Yes.
Alright, let's talk about what's even going on here. How much money do you have, guys?
50.
Got some 10s and you've got some what? 5s. Do you want x to represent the number of 10s or the number of 5s?
10s.
Let's let x equal the number of 10s. So x, I'm going to write this down. That's going to be the, whoops, that's a bad looking x. That's going to be the number of 10s, yeah. what do you think we're going to let y represent? Number of fives. Totally, we've got how much money, guys? Totally, you've got, what do we say, $50? Make you holler? $50. All right. We got to write an equation in standard form. Guys, if x represents the number of tens, what's an expression for the amount of money you have in $10 bills? What times what?
X plus
10 times x. Okay, so the situation, the model situation would be this. 10 times x, I don't know how many tens I have. If x was 1, if x was 2, if x was 3, wouldn't that tell you how much money you have in tens? Like 10 times 2 would be $20. I have 10 times 3, I have 10 times 4. Do you get that? But the 10x represents how much money you have in $10 bills, right? The number of tens times 10. What are you going to add to that? What's your guess?
Plus 5y.
Why 5y, Mariah?
Because y equals 5. And you
'Cause
have another number of
We said y is the number of $5 bills we have, and monetarily, each $5 bill is worth just that, $5 bill. So the expression for the amount of money in fives is 5 times what here?
y.
Okay, in this example right here, these two better total what value? Better total 50. Guys, standard form takes on the form ax plus by equals c. Okay? Do you have like an ax right here?
Yeah.
What is the a value?
10.
Plus a by, what's b? And what's the c value out here on the end? 50. Now, I'm going to put slope-intercept form up here in a different color next to it. Now, I want to make sure we understand how we distinguish between which form is which, but if I put y equals mx plus b here, if I put y equals mx plus b, what I'm going to tell you is this. Just remember, if y is all alone, that's slope-intercept form. Okay? If x and y are on the same side, then it is standard form. Okay? Can you tell the difference between the two?
Yeah.
In fact, let me just do this quickly. Standard or slope-intercept form? Standard. Standard or slope-intercept form?
Slope-intercept form.
Can you differentiate between the two forms?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. But understand that each one of them is still going to get you a
Slope.
slope or a line of some kind, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's rock and roll on this, kiddos. Back in this first page, the thing that you need to know that's the most important thing is this. This is the most important thing. Put a star by this, highlight this. I don't know what you do, but this is hugely important, okay? This is basically going to help you with your whole assignment, all right? Very, very important, this part right here, okay? Guys, there are rules for finding the following things up here on a graph when you're in standard form, all right? And I'm just going to give them to you, all right? I guess real quickly what I'll do is they say find the slope and find the y-intercept. They ask you to plug a lot of points in. Basically what they'll say is put a value in for y and solve for x. I don't want to do that. Or put a value in for x and solve for y. I don't want to do that. I want to make this easy as possible. Is anybody going to feel badly if I make this as easy as possible? No?
Well,
Are you sure, Colton?
yeah.
You won't lose sleep tonight? Promise me?
Well, yeah. I'll probably be crying at track.
Well, you'll sleep like a baby tonight. I know what your practice is tonight.
Okay. Oh, wait, what? For the throwers?
It's everyone, yeah.
Everyone?
Yeah.
What? You don't practice?
Slope
I know what
for
you're
any
saying.
equation in standard form is found by taking the opposite of your a value over b. So this means the opposite of what?
That's
A.
fair.
If a is positive, what are you going to plug in?
Negative.
If a is negative, what are you going to plug in?
Positive.
You okay with that?
Or technically.
We'll come back to these, okay? Make sure you've got the right formula written down for finding slope. And this only works for which form? But what form does that work for? Only works in standard form, right? Secondly, then, they're going to ask you about x-intercepts. Well, what the heck is an x-intercept? Well, guys, we talked about this point right here being the y-intercept, so what do you think this point is now? We're going to talk about where's that graph across the x-axis as well. Okay, this formula allows you to find the x-intercept along with the y-intercept Formula for the x-intercept, c divided by a. All right, and then the y-intercept. Well, the y-intercept we've talked about in the last section. We said, well, if this was a line, this point would be the y-intercept, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
C divided by b. Okay, make 100% sure that you have those written down like I do. Because if you don't, life won't be much fun. Right? Hmm? I heard you running hills.
Awesome. Looks like
Even the
nobody
throwers?
I guess, I don't know.
Yeah, John, Coach said everyone.
You guys have all those down?
Freaking awesome.
Okay. Guys, this is what we're going to get at. This is what we're going to start getting at. You're going to be asked to start finding intercepts now in standard form. Now, intercepts, it doesn't define which one. So if it says intercepts, plural, that means find the x-intercept and find the y-intercept, right? Find the x, find the y. Well, okay, here we go. Here's how this works. First of all, this is our equation in standard form, right here. All right? Every time I start these problems, I like to label my a, my b, and my c value. So I'm going to write these down off to the side. What is the a value in this equation right here?
3x.
Okay, don't worry about the x. It's just a
3.
value.
3.
So it's just 3. So a is what?
3.
What's the b value?
5.
C is? All right, we all agree there? Okay. Now guys, I think it would be a good idea to go through and do all three things. It says to just find the what here? Find the what? Intercepts. I'm going to add also find the what else? Slope here. Okay. So I'm going to make a chart here. I'm going to go slope. I'm going to go x-intercept. And I'm going to go y-intercept. All right, kiddos, help me out here. Help me remember what the formula for slope was again. If you need to look back, look back.
Y equals mx plus b.
Okay, that's slope-intercept form, okay? But we're taking, what form is this right here, Taylor? This is standard. So we want to take something in standard form and use that to find the slope of the line. Use that to find the x-intercept and use that to find the y-intercept. So what formula did I give you on the previous page to find slope, Brett? We want the opposite of a over b. All right, well, what was a up here to begin with, gang?
3.
Positive 3. So what do you want to plug in then?
Negative.
A negative 3. So my slope right here will be negative 3 over the b value, which is what? 5. So what's the slope in that problem? Negative 3/5. Okay. We know that, right? Let's find the other two values and then see if we can't take the information to do what they want us to do. Graph this, all right? X-intercept. What did I give you as a formula? Your C value divided by your A value, right? Okay, well, what is the C value, kiddos? 15 divided by what? Okay, it's just C divided by just A now, not negative A, but just what? A. So just A would be just what value up here? Just a 3. So 15 divided by 3. What is 15 divided by 3, kiddos?
5.
Okay, so what is the x-intercept here, guys?
5.
X-intercept is 5. Let's find the y-intercept. What's the formula for y-intercept on that previous
C over
page?
b.
C over B, right? Well, again, gang, what's the C value? 15. What's the B value? 5. So what does 15 divided by 5 make?
3.
So the y-intercept is 3, right? Everybody agree there? Okay. So here's what they're asking you guys to do. They're saying, you know what, let's graph this. All right? And it says primarily find the what first. what does it say to find primarily or initially? Initially find the intercepts. Okay, so what was the x-intercept, guys? So it means on the x-axis, go over to the value of what? So on the x-axis, count over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and plot your point right there. Okay, now I haven't gotten rulers out for you, but do the best you can to draw a straight line. Anybody want a ruler for that? Are you sure? What was the y-intercept here, kiddos? So this is saying get on the y-axis and go to what value? 3. Okay. Now do you guys see the 2 points that I have right here plotted for intercepts? Those 2 points would go ahead and determine your what? Well, it would determine your slope, and it also allows you to draw your line, doesn't it? Yeah. Looks kind of like this. You got, oops. You guys kind of agree with what I've got there? Now, I got a question here. I should say I have a question. I got a question. I got some questions. I got lots of questions. I took something in standard form, right? I applied some formulas. Those formulas allowed us to plot some points. When I plotted those points, it allowed you to draw a line. Would it be able, or would I be able to go backwards now and say, once I have that line, could I rewrite me a new equation in slope-intercept form? Like last section? Well, I want to show you this. Guys, look at the graph that we formed here. What is the y-intercept? What's your y-intercept? It's 3, isn't it? Oh, by the way, what did this say the y-intercept was?
3.
This here said the y-intercept was 3, didn't it? Okay, big deal. How about this from point to point, working left to right? How about my slope? How far down, kiddos? -3 over a run of how much? So the slope's -3/5, right? Did we know that, or do we have to find that? We already knew that right here, didn't we? So if they say, hey, here's an equation in standard form right up here, we want you to use the intercepts and the slope to make a graph, but after that, they come back and put it now in slope-intercept form or y = mx + b form. Basically, find your slope, find your intercept, and plug them in. What's this equation in slope-intercept form now? Well, what would you plug in for m, since it's a slope? So this is also the same as y equals -3 over what? X. So what that means is this. This equation, right up here, is exactly the same as what? That equation right there, isn't it? What do you guys think? Kind of feel okay with this? Okay, what I would like to do is I would like to end today. I'm not going to give you a quick quiz today. The only thing you've got is the book page for Friday. And you know that the test retake is by Monday if you choose to do so. I want to end today by giving you one equation in standard form. You help me find all 3 parts, slope, x-intercept, y-intercept, and then use that information to write an equation in slope-intercept form. If we can do that correctly, I'll make a deal with you. If we can do this correctly today, you guys talking through this correctly today, I won't, there's a back side that says page 633 on this, okay? If you guys can talk me through this example correctly, I'm not going to talk, I'll ask the questions, but I'm not going to talk you through it. If you can talk this through me correctly as a group, I won't make you do the back page. Fair? Okay. So I'm going to put an equation up in standard form, and I'm going to tell you what I want. You guys ready for this? I only ask the questions. You have to give me the correct answer. Any incorrect answer? So who's going to be the spokesperson for the group? Who wants to be spokesperson for the group? Who's it going to be, Mrs. Miller? Mrs. Miller, you're the spokesperson. You get their consensus, all right? All right. Here we go. You ready, kiddos?
And they have to tell me what to say, though, right?
Yep.
Person?
Yep. Okay. The 3 things I want to know, first of all. All right, Mrs. Miller, you're the speaker here. I want to know what A, B, and C are. You guys converse, and Mrs. Miller's your final end-all, say-all.
Tell me what.
Say-all, end-all, I guess.
-4.
-4 over 8. No, it's just negative 4 or 4,
No.
yeah.
Yep, -4.
For 400.
We're just gonna identify A, B,
I
and
just want you to identify your A, B, and C values.
Negative 4.
C. So -4, Mr.
So A is -4?
Yes.
Is that your final answer?
That's my final answer.
Ding!
8.
B would be.
B is 8,
64.
and C is 64.
I know how to math. What's smiley face now? Wait, do you see 2 or 3 more?
Okay, next question.
make that chart?
Next question. I want to know what the slope is in simplest form. I want the x-intercept to this graph. I want the y-intercept to this graph. Be careful on slope. That's all I'm going to say, kiddos.
What's my equation, guys?
I want the slope in simplest form.
4 over.
Squares. Hold up, though.
What, so what's it gonna reduce to, guys?
It's going to be
Yeah, 'cause
2.
it'll be 2.
What is it, negative?
2, 4, 1.
Well, what's the opposite of -4? Positive 4, so 4 over what? Okay. 1/2.
We're going 1/2?
Yeah, going with 1/2.
Show me
Because-
math.
Because the opposite of A was what?
Positive 4.
Over the B value of 8. And I caution you, I heard some 2's out there. If it was 8 divided by 4, it would be 2, right? Let's simplify this one. What is it again? Slope's 1/2. I agree. How about the x-intercept?
64
What's my equation?
over.
C over A.
Negative 4. So 64 divided by 4.
Who has an answer to that?
16.
16. Does everybody agree with that? Right.
Is that not right?
So what's your answer? Negative 16.
How'd you get that? Yeah, do you change the sign of A this time?
No.
No. Okay, so it would have been 64 over -4, right? X-intercept's -16. How about the y-intercept? Should be able to shoot
64
this.
divided by 8.
Okay. That's an answer. 8.
Miller?
8.
Okay.
All right, no more. No backside.
Okay. Last thing then. Take the information from the second part and write me an equation now in slope-intercept form. What is this standard form equation in slope-intercept form now?
Y equals half.
1/2 x plus 8. Okay. All right. Can you handle going from here, identifying A, B, and C, use those formulas to find slope, x, and y to be able to make a graph, and then use this information to put that back in slope-intercept form? A lot of information here today, okay? A lot of information. Real quickly, do you understand how to tie all that together and understand why they're the same thing now? Okay. Back page, cross that off, you bet. And then just make the front of it due for Friday, all right?